So I'm going to say this as nicely as possible because we are reforming words and we're destroying words. And so one of the trash spell words that's being destroyed, as mentioned before, is fantasy. Now, fantasy, it says here, and we're using Google's quote unquote search engine. And we already know what's going on with Google. They've gotten sued how many times, and nobody's really going to associate with Google for too long anymore. They're getting boycotted. It's just that time. But let's just, for the sake of this, just for the buffoons that like to use Google, we'll go with what you use, and we'll break this down. 14th century is the first known time fantasy was created, right? So when that illusionary word was made, it was in the 14th century. You have to consider who made it, why they made it, what influenced them, where they were specifically when they made it, and what's the intention of them making that word. That is what you have to observe, you have to get into. And so what it really boils down to is that word was made as a means to try and disconnect you from physical reality, disconnect you from your awareness of you being a co-creator. Because if you recognize, damn, everything that is in this physical reality is from the experiences of you, the listener, or someone near you. At that point, you respect when entities don't lie, especially if somebody is of a credible professional position and they tell you truth. That's when you have to recognize, okay, yeah, that's true. Somebody out there gave an account, documented this and that for a reason. So there again, you can mention just about anything, and I will tell you, there is no such thing as fiction. There's no such thing as fantasy. None of that. There's genetic defects. There's interpretations. There's limited perspectives that have to grow into higher perspectives. So, for example, we can't use an outdated word from the 14th century that came from someone that had a very limited, tiny perspective as opposed to having a higher perspective. And Claudia already explained the importance of having a higher perspective. So, with that said, yes, we are taking out that word in the U.S. melting pot in this age of Aquarius, age of information. It starts here in the U.S. melting pot.
By the way, the word quote unquote fantasy comes from Greek fantasia, which literally means to make visible. So why are certain parasites even trying to use the word in a negative way? Like, why are all those trash spellcasting energetic parasites trying to use the word quote unquote fantasy in an evil way? So step into reality. As one said in the other video, there is no such thing as fiction and there is no such thing as fantasy. And those pathetic, disgusting, dirty, illusionary words are getting abolished, legally sieged in this age of Aquarius, age of information.
All trash, corrupt spellcasters are to get legally sieged in this age of Aquarius, age of information. New laws are being placed to protect developing souls. And with that said, this is just a quick little video one decided to make. One's going to make many more, and we definitely have to talk about numerous words are to be reformed.